Hello, everyone. This is Kade Herbert. I'm the host of the CT Cloud podcast. This is episode 15 of the CT Cloud podcast, and we're going to be talking today a little bit about the Cloud Voice Hub. And joining us, we have Andy Ramos. Andy, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell us just your title and what you do for us here at CallTower.
Hey, thanks, Kade. This is Andy Ramos. I'm our Vice President of Global Channel Sales. Very excited about our conversation today, Kade. Thanks.
Perfect, excellent. Thank you for joining us. It's great to have you, and we're excited to talk a little bit about the Cloud Voice Hub. The Cloud Voice Hub is something that CallTower acquired as part of our acquisition of OneStream Networks, which is kind of our big exciting news of the year. So we're really happy to have Andy, who we also acquired in that acquisition as well. So I guess we'll start off with the simplest question: is what is the Cloud Voice Hub, Andy?
Yeah, so thanks, Kade. Yeah, really the idea around this Cloud Voice Hub is, as organizations move to the cloud, they need to be able to work with disparate platforms, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this really comes up a lot when you have situations of global enterprises who are going through mergers or acquisitions.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to transition between platforms, and they might even have different decision-making processes through different parts of the globe uh, that really kind of lend them to have multiple platforms that they're using for unified communications. And they need to be able to integrate those platforms so they can communicate effectively across them on a global enterprise. And then
Okay.
really kind of look at, hey, the other factor around that is, as they move to this more to distributed work environments, how does that all kind of come together? And how do I get an experience between different platforms and different UC vendors?
Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense, and that makes sense especially today because everything is the world is so much smaller these days, right? Every company is looking into how can I expand internationally, how can I expand inorganically, and the Cloud Voice Hub seems to be right at the center of that question. So that's very interesting. What is the the technological advantage of something like the Cloud Voice Hub as opposed to some of the alternates that are out there?
Yeah, so one of the cool things that call towers bringing to the table is that it's built-in infrastructure into these cloud platforms, right? So if you look at Cisco and their WebEx calling, UCM Cloud, dedicated instance platforms, or you look at Microsoft's Teams
Mhm.
platforms, the infrastructure has been built into the back-end platforms already.
Gotcha.
So what happens is you have this core backbone network that Call Tower has now globally with points of presence in Asia Pac, EMEA, and the
Mhm.
Americas. And you have that back-end connectivity already built into those major cloud players as well as traditional SIP trunking. You're able to integrate those things seamlessly through that core network that Call Tower has globally. So right there in itself, we're providing simplicity for customers with multinational locations because that infrastructure's been built into those back-end platforms.
Okay, so you don't have to go and like rebuild everything from scratch or, start up a whole new system. It's already there. You just plug in from where you are and it's good to go.
That's it, right? And the need for SBCs at customer locations, et cetera, also goes away. And or even in common data center points where people have centralized before, a lot of that infrastructure goes away because it is natively connected into the platforms and it's done through our network.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And from a high level perspective, that's saving you money on your infrastructure fees, your maintenance, and your IT on top of, so you just have the support of Call Tower behind you, and you can just plug in from where you are. So that's really a huge advantage from both a technological and a financial standpoint. So if someone's if someone's listening to this and they're saying, "Oh, that sounds pretty good. That's something my organization would be interested in." What are their next steps?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll point out the obvious, call us, right?
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
but beyond that, take a look at what your longer term strategy is as an organization, or if you're a partner, what your client's longer term strategy is. Because at the end of the day, once you have migrated, that back end PSDN infrastructure to an organization like ours, all of a sudden your choices are, hey, I'm here today, but I want to be, somewhere in 3 years, right? And know
Exactly.
that all the network elements, the infrastructure elements have been built. So really, approach this from a today and tomorrow perspective, and really kind of looking at, where does my client or us as a customer want to be in the next 3 years?
Very cool. That makes sense. Yeah, reach out to us. We are, of course, all the information you'll need is on calltower.com, so feel free to check that out. Andy, thank you so much for joining us today. I think that's going to wrap up everything that we're talking about with the Cloud Voice Hub today. Feel free to check out our website at calltower.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe when you want new notifications about when the new episodes of the CT Cloud podcast come out. Until then, I'm Kate Herbert, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Kate.